Welcome all. My name is Tom, and thanks for joining us live from COP22. Thanks, Maya, for joining, and thanks to all for watching this recording. Today, we're really excited to have Sunita Ma with us live from COP22. And she's going to be talking about bringing out the voice of youth, social entrepreneurship, and climate change in Cameroon. The presentation today is going to last for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to open up for questions. We are coming live from Marrakesh, so hopefully we won't experience any technical problems, but if we do, we'll try and get them resolved as quickly as possible. So Sunita was born and grew up in Cameroon and is a facilitator as well as administrator and public relations officer of Better World Cameroon and Bafort Ecovillage. Since 2009, Sunita has dedicated herself to reconnecting young people to the land and carrying out cross-culture education through youth camps and to organising trainings for the economic empowerment of women, youth leadership engagement and introduction to permaculture for small-scale farmers. She is currently combining a master's in integrative eco-social design at Gaia University, coordinating and facilitating agricultural activities at Bafort Ecovillage, and working with Next Gen Africa. She is passionate about regenerative education and continues to develop as a professional facilitator working with experts from diverse backgrounds. And so with no further ado, we welcome Sunita. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much, Tom. And thank you, Maya, for attending the webinar. Like Tom just said, I am Sunita Mba, and I'll be presenting today about bringing out the voice of youth, social entrepreneurship, and climate change in Cameroon. So just to give a short brief about this topic, I'm really going to be sharing, first of all, about my journey and my inspiration as a young person, but also growing in a world with lots of social entrepreneurs, but also in the movement of the Global Ecovillage Network. My inspiration and my journey has started since maybe before 2009, but more as a volunteer in 2009, and I became more involved with Better World Cameroon, and that was just when I started the university. So I got more in contact with young people, other young people going towards different directions, but also as mates, we shared the same views, only that I was a bit different because I was volunteering at that time. Then I became more in contact with Next Gen in 2014, and at that time, I really felt like I wanted to move things in the world. So young people, for me, in Cameroon mostly dream the same dream. And over 90% of my mates from the university have ended up as government teachers, not really because they wanted to be teachers, just because of this expectation for a government job and that the security that comes with it. And usually what my friends tell me is, as a young person and a government worker, or I have a matricle number and I don't have to work until late hours. I only have to teach once a week. I have so much time for my family. And I don't have to go to school to teach. I can teach when I like. So for me at that time, it really felt like there's this lazy spirit creeping into young people, really not having the anxiety to reach out to the world, to reach out and explore their potentials fully, because they're all moving towards the same direction and dreaming the same dream. So for me, mostly it was, how do I make myself different? How do I become different? And one of the ways was that I have to not be a government teacher. I had to revolt every time to not be a government teacher, but to really follow what my heart tells me. But also my inspiration has come from this tag that young people are fake. Yeah, because most of the times in Cameroon, and I think in other African countries, young people are given the responsibility to do lots of things because they also express an interest and they want to be given a voice. They really want a voice. And so they express an interest to do something. And at the end of the day, when the thing is given to them, just don't show up. So there has been this lack of interest now in young people because every time something is given to them, they don't show up. So now it feels like young people are fake, and whenever something is happening that is so serious, for example, the COP22 and young people representing the voice of their countries, the ministers of the different ministries really don't feel like young people will take this up, because what if a young person arrives, for example, Marrakesh, and ends up in their hotel taking selfies and drinking wine and all of that. And so, yeah, that has really been my inspiration. And so exploring more in these topics, social entrepreneurship and climate change, I first of all see it as a complementary approach. Because I don't think social entrepreneurship is so different from climate change, and climate change so different, but it's really that they're complementing each other, and climate change would just not happen. We would not be able to mitigate and adapt climate change or our climate without social entrepreneurship, and we won't survive as social entrepreneurs without supporting the movement that is helping to adapt and mitigate climate change. So yeah, also in Cameroon, in Better World, that is the approach that we're using, we're bringing in the world. Also ensuring that young people don't see it as two separate things moving in different directions, but that we can really see it as two things nourishing each other. And social entrepreneurship is at this place in Cameroon where when young people hear it, because of the eagerness to get jobs and because of the high rate of unemployment, they feel that it's all about making money. But then what I have been trying to do in Cameroon is to make sure that young people also see that social entrepreneurship is not all about making money. It's first of all, it's certain mindset that moves you, that gives you an inspiration and enthusiasm as a young person to drive change towards a certain direction. Like as a social entrepreneur, I become really inspired. I become really innovative and creative and really want to drive change just towards something I'm so passionate about. And in the beginning, it's not all about making money. It's mainly that I have an interest in bringing maybe climate change mitigation into the world, or something like more about young people into the world. And so then in achieving that, I need to earn a living. I need to have financial resilience. And in that process, I also develop structures and strategies where I can earn money while I do the work that I'm passionate about. So yeah, and in social entrepreneurship, of course, young people would need required entrepreneurial skills and spirit to implement climate change. And this, like I said already, is enthusiasm, creativity, but also business plan skills. Like, how do you develop as a young person? How do you develop a business plan? And in Cameroon, what we've been saying is it's not all about teaching business plan, but it's you developing a business plan within yourself, but also from your surrounding. And the process, of course, of social entrepreneurship and climate change is just like eat your elephant one spoonful at a time. There's no end. It's a real process. And this expectation in young people that I'm now going to invest 2,000 francs or 2,000 US dollars, and I'm going to be one year a multimillionaire. And because of this, young people fail to have the patience that it takes to go through the process. So we rush things, and because we don't get the results at the end of the day, maybe in 1 year, then we get so frustrated and we abandon it. So the thing is that we have to make sure as young people that we eat our elephant one spoonful at a time. And yeah, so of course, as young people, this is very challenging. And living in Cameroon and experiencing this every day, it is really a challenge because young people it's a fast changing world. And us as young people, we are also wanting to move very fast. Technology is moving very fast. The world is developing very fast. But as young people, we want to just keep moving. So now, how do we give voice to these young people while they're in this process of wanting to explore and yet to earn money? So in Cameroon, we're saying governance and continuity to ensure that there's some form of governance and continuity, which then builds capacity for the young people to advocate for policy and drive change is very necessary. So there's therefore the need for our government systems, but also for our local institutions to include young people into the governance processes and to help young people in the process of developing small governing structures, but also that they are part of the process, they're part of the decision making, and we learn in the process. But as young people, we are there to make sure that there's a certain transfer of knowledge. And just like a normal life process, young people would come, and as the days go by, the older generation is going away and the younger generation is coming. And as young people, we need to have this understanding that we are also going to become the older generation, and there will be a generation after us. So this is therefore important to pass over this knowledge. And because young people will not be able to have great businesses without having the right governance structures. So already involving them in these processes makes it really important and supportive when they actually design this and start implementing businesses. So yeah, and the COP22 theme, or the high-level political forum for the climate change, is ensure no one is left behind. So it's again where young people need to take the front lead. So we are saying in Cameroon that our governments have to stop using young people as just these people who stand up and give badges and share flyers. Young people need to sit on the table. They are not supposed to be left behind. But again, there's this phobia that young people already have for climate change. They don't really want to get involved. They don't see that there's some money that is going to come out of it. So social entrepreneurship then is just a driving tool in the world where we're creating new monetary systems, but we are also ensuring that as we implement climate change, we implement it in a sustainable way, that we don't burn out. We have financial resilience as young people. So yes, we're implementing climate change, but we're creating jobs in the process. So in Cameroon, we have this campaign that is called Youth for Peace campaign. It's a way where young people actually give their voice, and they go out and make a campaign for peace. But it's really that there's intergenerational, but it's also interfaith. So we do these campaigns in churches. We call for peace. We also do it in a big boulevard when it's like the Cameroon celebration, National Day celebration. So just calling for other young people to be able to give the voice of the young people, but also to be able to speak out as young people. So most of the trainings that we organize, we make sure that there's some young people, but there are also some people who are much older, and they're complementing each other. And of course, resource centers are really helpful. And we have this learning center in Cameroon, and then for permaculture Ecovillage is a demonstration site where it helps young people to learn and share, but hands-on learning as a social entrepreneur really supports young people and supports the process. And that is really the idea that the Global Ecovillage Network is promoting, that young people come together. They don't only have the knowledge and the theory that they got from school, but that they also have the know-how, because the know-how is very important in the business world. And carrying out climate-friendly actions is just one of those points where social entrepreneurship then becomes really important. And these young people are making, that you see in the picture, making a compost manure. So it's one of the ways of earning money. You make a lot of compost, you sell to the surrounding farmers, but it's a way that supports and mitigates and adapts the climate and supports the climate change process. But they in turn get money from this. You can also see the young people with yams in their hands, and agriculture is just an economically viable way that truly serves life. So young people express also on the earth, in the soil, how they feel about the earth, how they can nourish the earth, but what they harvest from the earth is what then goes back into nourishing and helping with finances. So again, for us, that's the idea of social entrepreneurship, that we fit into the environment just as much as we take from it. And we're empowering young people to do green business and create green business opportunities. Cosmetics, we make cosmetics from natural products. And young people make like handmade body lotion, Vaseline, and soap. And these products are just made from natural products, and it's a way of really nourishing and helping young people in moving in it and thriving in a very challenging world, but also supporting the climate and the environment. And they get a lot of money from making cosmetics, actually, with the support of Lush Cosmetics in the UK. But what we're also saying is that there's local wealth around. And there's a need for young people to identify the local wealth. What is it that is important in your surrounding? And how can you use it to make money? And use it in a sustainable way. We understand that sustainability is also an overused word, but just in a way that really supports the climate, supports the people around us. And in the permaculture terms, we would say we care for the earth, we care for the people, and we share the surplus. So there's wealth in craft. And there's a lot of craft, there's a lot of local materials sitting around everywhere in the world, also in Cameroon. And these trainings that we do in Cameroon is an eye-opening for young people to see that there's so much wealth around us, and we can really use this to nourish ourselves. As we really move more into the presentation, I would say more is always better. So we've been doing a lot in Cameroon with organizing summer youth camps, integrating these youth camps with elders who help the young people in the transfer of knowledge process. Young people develop business plans, but they also implement these business plans. As now we're working with Lush, but Lush is supporting 3 young people from the summer camp of August 2016, to implement the businesses that were developed from their business plans. And so there's so much happening in the world already around social entrepreneurship. And this is not only in Cameroon, it's also in Kenya, it's in so many African countries. But what I am saying is that more is always better. So we need to provide young people with IT infrastructure, because they're so passionate about IT, and there's a lot of potential in IT for young people. Only that the elders, when they hear young people say, I am I create websites, they don't resonate with it, because they've also come from a generation that was not so involved in technology and was not in a fast changing world as the young people of this generation. So yeah, it's really important to provide young people with the right skills and the capacity, because even when a young person in Cameroon has a computer or a cell phone and really doesn't know what to put up on Facebook, doesn't serve the purpose. So there's the need for the infrastructure, but there's also need for the capacity of these young people to be built. And a real good way for young people to support each other across the world, in Africa, but also across Cameroon, is to enhance cross-educational, cross-cultural exchange. And as we have seen in these youth camps, that young people leave very inspired and wanting to do a lot of change, but that they can also connect in the different countries. They can connect when they return to their rural areas. They can connect when they return to their country. Yeah, with other young people who are like-minded young people. Yeah, we want to involve more young people in small and large-scale business development programs, where they would bring in the skills, the IT skills, the enthusiasm, the innovation, the creativity that they have, but this burning need of change. They would bring this in these processes, and this is really a call for the different eco-villages in the world to integrate young people more into the small and large-scale business processes. And yeah, young people also are needing to develop more interest in mitigating and adapting climate change. And as young people, we really need to be true to ourselves, to ensure that, yes, we are in a climate that is really changing, but we have a responsibility to restore it. And we can restore it while earning money. We can make a lot of money, and we can support our families, we can support ourselves, but we can also support the climate and the environment where we are living. And approximately that's it for me. And I would have really liked this presentation to be more interactive and have more questions, and to respond to these questions, and yeah, to just share more what is happening in the different areas around social entrepreneurship and climate change, and how we're already giving voice to young people. But I'm also open to learn more how young people can get more engaged in these processes, like the COP22, and speaking more about climate, the young people getting, having a voice and given more space in our normal and in our government processes. So yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, Sanita, thank you very much. Really appreciate your talk today. It was very engaging, very interesting. And I think we have probably all taken quite a lot from that. Now we can open up for questions. Mo, I'm not sure if you've got any questions at all, or...
Well, hi. Let me just put the video so you will see who I am. I think I'm not really talking. Hi.
Oh.
Well, it was great to hear. Actually, it is a subject that I'm extremely interested. Let me explain a little bit. I mean, I am 35, so I'm not young, but I got interested a lot about like, what can I do, and that's how I went to an ecological village this summer in Israel, and interested with the deserts. And now I'm very interested also, like, coming to where you are, about how to bring people to social entrepreneurship, because people are doing it as volunteer, and that's why it's not sustainable. So people need to earn so that everything that can be done for the climate and for humanity can be sustainable. So I really appreciate everything you do a lot, and it's amazing to see. Definitely, youth has to play the biggest role because that's where it's going. I just wanted to ask, like, when you actually involved people, how did you manage to get around all those people to come and interest? Because obviously you are very interested, but how did you manage to get them interested too?
Yeah, we were just hanging out for Tom. Thank you, Tom, for holding the IT part. Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because young people, it's really challenging, and I have been doing this since 2009. And like I said already in the second slide about eating your elephant one spoonful at a time, when I started this in 2009, I had no expectation that it was going to happen tomorrow. And when I started speaking to young people about getting involved in not doing business in a mainstream business way, but also just taking some time to learn more, to heal the earth, they never listened to me. And every time they would tell me, you're just wasting your time. And unlike you wouldn't have any maternity leave. When you give birth and when you're married, you wouldn't have any time for your husband. But for me, I would have so much time because I would just become a teacher. So, but it really happened over time. I was really patient, and that is why I hold this statement a lot very close to my heart, that you have to eat your elephant one spoonful at a time. Because then as a young person, I really was very patient, I can say. And I can also just share a bit some of the techniques that or the strategies that I used to get young people more engaged. Is I used theater. So I studied a bit of theater in the university, and it brought a lot of light to me. It really showed me that young people in this generation are more passionate about dancing, about seeing. They're so passionate about action. So I always design a script and I use it as a roadshow. So, and I put in this information about social entrepreneurship and about climate change. And then I run this. So I have a team, or maybe a team of 4 people, 5 other young people who really feel passionate about the same cause. And we walk around, we go around from one university to another, from one community to another, in markets, in churches, and we just present this play. And that is the only way that young people could listen. And then they would want to also come and be part of the theater group. So, and you want to be part of the theater group, you want to pass across the same image, the same information. So they started getting more interested in the topic, and then they say, I just really like it, and I want to also go around doing theater. And at the end of the day, they say, I just want to do what you're doing. So yeah, theater was I find a really good piece to get young people enrolled, but also doing flash mob. And there's a strategy that I used also that is called photo voice. And photo voice means that I go into a community, I take a picture of something that I think might have some challenges, that these people are facing some challenges, but this picture can actually tell a story. I bring that picture, I print it out, I go into a youth group, I show this picture and I ask the youth group, can you please tell me or can you identify if there are any challenges that this community where I took this picture is facing? And so they would get really interested, would say so many things. But then I also started asking young people to bring to their community and take pictures of synopsis, but also of events that might show that there's a problem. And then that's really how we started going for it. And it has taken since 2009 to 2016 to unroll. So yeah, I think as change makers in this world, we have a big job. And yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I can also leave it there for now.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. I never thought about theater before. That was something. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I would also like to know more about this community where you come from and some of the local things that are happening there. Maybe we can just have a short brainstorm of some of the potentials of this place and what we could explore, what you could explore in this environment where you've been.
Well, I do live in Turkey, so at the moment there are political issues, and we have also next door is Syria, so immigration and war, quite a lot is happening at the moment. Regarding the climate change, they wanted to open up 2 more nuclear centrals, and the government is against everything that we would like to do. So, but there are good associations, and I am nearly with all of them, because just to understand what's going on and just see how things can come together. And my idea is actually kind of seeing like there's a problem, engaging it with the business world or with the funds so that it can heal it up, but to move it like in a business way, because usually with the NGOs it doesn't work that much. Like it works on the aid basis and when there's an emergency, but to continue to make it sustainable, it needs to run as a business so that they could run themselves. And that's where I am actually. Regarding to ecological village networks is, I do believe in ecological village, and I do believe the way it works. So, and I think it is a very sustainable way. So, because I'm very important with the issues of hunger and water, and that's why I'm planning to move to the desert, to an ecological village in Kibbutz Lotan in Israel, and live there and work there to know exactly what it is, and also to be able to help people with what I learn and what I live with. That's where I am. But please be my guest with all your advice.
Wow, really nice. One thing about change makers is that we're able to inspire each other. And I think that comes first before social entrepreneurship. That's why it's not all about making money. That the young people need to, first of all, be inspired and bypass the challenges in the political system, in the wars and everything, and turn that into opportunity. But that takes a while. Because I can tell you a story. We are in Cameroon as well. We have the same political situation. We've had the same president since 1982. But really, it's us. It's about us. It's about our surrounding. And the only way to do it is to shift from getting stuck and always putting the political situation as a wall in front of us, and how do we find ways to get around it? And once we find those ways to get around it, on the other side of the wall, then we start seeing all these big opportunities for social entrepreneurship, all these big opportunities for mitigating and adapting climate change. We get a bit relieved, and we lessen the burden, the political and all the burdens that are sitting there in the government system. Because one thing is sure, all those things will be there. The system is the way it is. It's been there for a long time. It's changing very slowly, and we have to change with it. So, for me, one thing is young people also have to come to this awareness and keep the fire burning, and not to be fake. Because then if we run away, we can't fight while running away. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it would be nice to connect with you more, Maya, and to know more about your journeys and the Ecovillage, and to connect more as one family. So.
Thank you. I would like to too. So.
And I'm really grateful to have you to have you attending the call, actually. And I don't know what Tom has to say. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so really, thanks so much for joining today, Maya. Really appreciate it, and I know you were here yesterday as well. If that is going to be the end of the call now, then I guess we can wrap up. I'm going to put this recording online, like we're doing with all the rest of the calls. And as you're probably also aware, Maya, we've still got two webinars scheduled for the rest of this week. One tomorrow, one on Wednesday. So just to say briefly what they are, the one tomorrow is going to be by two of our delegation, Michael Farrelly and Tim Clark. And it's going to be on local communities as drivers of climate change adaptation, climate change, eco-villages in Tanzania, putting women first. So we're really looking forward to that, really exciting. Michael and Tim are taking some time out of their very busy schedule here at COP to broadcast that, so that promises to be very exciting. And also on Wednesday, Margarita, who actually was involved in a webinar earlier on in the week with Sarah Keblety, will also be running a webinar which is entitled Ecovillages, Peace and Climate Change in Colombia. She's a national of Colombia, and so that will be super interesting as well, and promises to be exciting. And if you can't make it, we will get them up online. We'll record them and put them on our website. But we always appreciate your involvement, Maya.
I will try to get in. And also, I talked with Anna. I'm trying to spread it so more people can join too.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
And Sonita, I wrote my email address, so you can email me, and you can find me. You can add me on Facebook.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maya. And I'm not an expert. I just hope we can grow and learn in this milieu together.
Thank you, me too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for everything, Maya. I'm probably going to end the meeting now, but I hope to connect with you in the future. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.